franchise guy, coming at you again with I guess a decision on this series that I guess some of you guys were waiting for, that do watch this series. I know the series has been pretty popular. Actually, for me, it gets a lot of views. Actually, it gets about 30-40 views per episode when it goes up in a day, and that's not a lot. But for me, at 400 subscribers, that's a lot for me. 400 views, 440 views in a day. But you see, right now we're going through and we're cutting players, and well, this is what the roster was gonna look like, but we are gonna switch up the rosters to a more recent roster update. This recent roster update has some players added to it, so it also has some players on different teams. Hopefully, it also fixes a problem that will be highlighted in this episode. I guess momentarily, we're gonna get to it in a second. But, Adrian Peterson was going to be our lead running back. And I know I did say in a previous episode that we weren't getting rid of him, because this is right when they cut him. But I think right now that we're only, technically, there's 4 games pre-recorded for this series. I know a lot of other YouTubers have kind of put their series on a slight hold. I know C4 has done it with his Detroit Lions series. But I think we're going to use this episode and just kind of go over the future for this. A future where, 6 episodes in, and we're already not even restarting, we're just kind of soft resetting the series. So it's going to pick back up right where we left off with all our pre-recorded stuff, with possibly the worst game of Madden I have ever played. And it is so bad that I legitimately just cut out half of it and just exported it. It's going to come out next week. So it's going to be the Sunday episode for next week. You're going to see how bad of a game that was. It is not a great game for the Washington Football Club. But I think I made some decisions here that weren't the smartest of decisions. And I think with this soft reset of the series, it's gonna fix it. We're gonna make sure we purposely win and lose every game. That we win or lose in so far to where we're at. But we're also in a thing now where we're still waiting for draft classes. And I found one that I like. That if we get to the end of the season where I can feel comfortable using it, would I love it? No, because there are some positions like quarterback in it that are very well done. They're very, there's undrafted quarterbacks, there's, 7th round quarterbacks and all that stuff. But then you get to other positions, like offensive linemen, and there's maybe 6, 7, guards that are real people. And then after that, there's no one. They're computer gen players. And it's like, okay, that takes away a bit of it, so that means I have to draft. Maybe draft one of these guards around early, because we need guards on this team. If you guys pay attention to, the players we're cutting and the players who are on the team, not the greatest. So now we're looking at drafting players kind of early. And that's not really what I wanted to do. But, it's something that I think I have to do. I have to just kind of wait out a little longer for it. So hopefully, we're gonna record some episodes, I think today or tomorrow, on the new rosters, and I'm gonna acknowledge it in the episodes where the new rosters do start. I'll make sure I acknowledge it, because we also did find a new slider set we're gonna be using, because the next 2 episodes do not have a slider set. They're literally just the base sliders with some minor tweaks I did like 2 episodes ago, but these are gonna be some legit sliders that we're gonna rock with for at least the time being. And yeah, I think that's the best thing we can do with what we have. And you're gonna see some of these players who are cut, come back. And sure, I mean, that's not gonna be the most realistic, but we're also going to be at a point too where we're 4 games into the series. We're 2 more episodes, 4 games into the series. So it's one of these things where it's like, oh, it's just a dream. It was whatever. So some stats might not, thankfully be the most accurate, because Dwayne Haskins had a very bad game. And when I mean very bad, I mean it was by far the worst game of Madden I have ever played. I mean ever played. I'm talking laughably bad. Like, it makes people who are bad at Madden like look really good. Yeah, and because I'm also trying to figure out how to get used to all Madden, and the style of play I do is just kind of throw the ball off. I don't really play the style the quarterback is supposed to be, so more just like I just sling the ball around, gunslinger in it, and it sometimes gets me in trouble. Like in Madden 19 we had Jake Fromm, and Jake Fromm for the most part did very good. And we got his strong arm up, and he got his field general up enough where we could do that gunslinger, and it would work, and it would work just fine for him, and we get 50 touchdowns, and my inability to read defenses would get like 12 picks, but still we'd have like 40-50 touchdowns, so it would even out. But so I do also want to bring up that there is one player who we did actually get a dev trait upgrade for. I'm not gonna say who, but when the episode does come out, you'll see it. We are going to put his dev trait back to where we got it. So it was a normal to a star, because 99% of our players are normal dev. So we upgrade from a normal to a star dev. So we're just going to, before this season even starts, we're just going to go into the roster, change him from a normal to a star dev, and we're just going to transfer over his stats. But this is what I was talking about. Deshaun Jackson, Larry Fitzgerald are cut, and I'm sorry, but those two would never be cut by their teams, especially because what just happened with Deshaun Jackson. And of course the Eagles made him apologize and all, and they're keeping him around. But then again, you'll see Larry Fitzgerald, I'm sorry, could be 45 years old, and the Cardinals would happily sign him to a vet minimum, because Larry Fitzgerald is the Cardinals. There's no way Larry Fitzgerald is ever leaving Arizona. So hopefully in these new rosters, as much as it's going to change up slightly the teams, and it's going to be Deshaun Jackson hopefully back on Philadelphia. It's going to be Larry Fitzgerald hopefully back on Arizona. But I really can't make the say there, because we're also hopefully, as long as we start back from the preseason and we go to the regular season, the 53-man rosters shouldn't cut down anymore. No one should be added or really cut. But we're also gaining some players back to this series too. Colin Kaepernick has been added to Madden for the first time since Madden 16, I believe, right? Madden 16. It's the year he was a free agent. And then he was gone. He's never been in Madden since then. And actually, that's where the Madden rule for Ultimate Team count for golden tickets, if you want golden ticket, Colin Kaepernick, like the next year, and like, oh yeah, we can't do that since he's not in the game, because the NFL kind of blackballed him. We're also getting Jadeveon Clowney back in the game too. It was actually the point where I actually didn't know Jadeveon Clowney wasn't in the game when we started this. I never registered it, but all of the people who are added and are back on, are back in the series. I'll make sure I highlight them on new teams they're on and stuff like that. The big name guys like the APs and Jadavian and all those guys. Josh Gordon, I believe, is also on a new team now too. So unfortunately, we're going to be losing Josh Gordon from this series, which is a big upset because he was our main outside threat. At 28, yeah, he's a little, 28, 29. He's a little older, yeah, but I mean, we can still turn his career around. Maybe look to trade for him, or we can summon as a free agent, hopefully get him back here in Washington. But if you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit that like button. Comment down below what do you think we should do with this series? What do you think we should add or subtract from it? Should we think we should go after Colin Kaepernick or maybe? But thanks on YouTube. Peace out, rock on, and stay super duper classy, I guess.